Welcome back, everybody, to the TriFecta Airsoft Podcast. And I have obviously me, JP, Chris, and our guest today is Don from NePa Airsoft. Thank you for being on here, my friend.
No problem. Appreciate you inviting me.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast. You have your own YouTube channel. You've had for a long time. You have a website. You have a blog thing that you do. You have built. I saw one of your videos when you first, when I first found out about your channel. I saw one of your videos. You built a mini gun. Like you're kind of like the all-around airsoft guy. You've got tech, you've got gameplay, you've got a long history in airsoft. So I have a ton of questions for you, and really excited to have you on here. So appreciate it, big time.
You know what? I played paintball for years. And this will tell you how old I am. Back in the 80s, I was playing paintball. We would go to a Friday game, play all day Saturday. We'd play all day Sunday. It would be nothing to drop $300 or $400 in a weekend in paintball.
Especially back then.
People listen to me say that, and they're like, what are you, out of your friggin' mind? I said, you play all day, and unlike now, where you have to buy your own paint and stuff, or you have to use their paint that they supply,
Right.
We used to be able to bring paint.
Yep.
So we had all the markers and all the gear and stuff like that, and there was a group of 4 of us, and when we would go, we'd go to this place that's about an hour away, and we would drive there and spend all day there. And we knew the owner. He'd let us go away from the place and go to lunch, come back, and then we'd play till like 5 o'clock. And then, in the day, we'd go get something to eat and bullshit for about 3 or 4 hours after that. So
Yep.
it was a paintball experience for the weekend. And I did this a lot. I had a really good job at the time. And I said, this was great, but it just got a little rough on me and the money-wise. So I sort of graduated away from that. And then a friend of mine that we hired at the local paper that I was working at, and this tells you how long ago, I was working at a newspaper. And he said, hey, you ever try airsoft? I said, well, what's that? And he started showing me some of the stuff that he had. And I'm like, I got to do this. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. So,
That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, they say that airsoft kind of originated because of paintball. Just a lot of guys that played paintball back in the day, a lot of them play both or just play airsoft now because it's so much more, customizable, and that's what people like about it is you can actually get exact replicas, compared to having your standard, like Tippmann paintball gun. They make more now. Yeah. They make more now, but they're pretty expensive, like airsoft can be.
They had been doing MagFed, and I was still playing paintball, I'd still be playing paintball.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I went and I looked at some of the MagFed markers that they got. The new ones look just like M4. They even have an AK one now. Looks like
wow.
AK. And I said, it's like phenomenal. They got sniper rifles now with extended barrels with a little group. They have like a rifle in it.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Those are nuts.
It's not shooting like 200, 300 feet, but it's shooting a hell of a lot farther than a normal paintball.
Right.
And I said, I look at some of that stuff, and the pistols, they have like mag-fed pistols. They only have 8 rounds in them, but cool. I'm like, I'm very impressed by them. And the shotguns, they put airsoft shotguns to waste. It's
really?
Like, they're phenomenal. It's like a double-barrel breech shotgun.
What?
Oh my God! So they have all this stuff now for paintball.
Yes.
I mean,
and I said, if that was like that 20 years ago, I'd still be playing paintball.
Yeah, I would too. That's
man,
the one thing.
That's
the one thing I don't like about airsoft that I love about paintball is you cannot really not call your hits. Like it's really you can, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
So it's when you got a big ass paint splatter, bright pink or orange or yellow, man, it's really difficult to hide that.
I used to love light green. I used to use the light green stuff that I would get. I'd like to get the light green. It was a light green white mix that it had in it, and man, that stood out like splot on your elbows and on your shoulder and
Yes.
stuff. You'd see that a mile away.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you were talking about the when you were allowed to bring your own paint. That's how I started. Paintball. After I got in the military, I got hooked up with some guys, and that I'd never even heard of it, and they're talking about it, and I went and bought a spring pistol, so or a little mini. I don't know if it was a pistol, but it was really short. I can't remember what brand. It wasn't even a name brand. It was just, but I had to cock it every time to load a paintball. That was my first gun. I went out and we went and played this guy's, his grandfather's open field or whatever, and had some woods on it. It was like a farm, and I mean, I got annihilated because I'm having to load each round as we're shooting, and man, I was hooked. I was hooked. But yeah, I would if they would have had replicas and even just the replica style of guns that Airsoft does, I would absolutely stayed into paintball for sure. Well, I got busy too. You know how it is. Life happens. We had all these kids, and for some reason, my wife and I
Kids.
decided to have 5 kids. Like, oh, that's a good idea. We won't be busy at all. Um,
Yeah, right.
so, but yeah, and then I remember when our kids got old enough that they were interested in that kind of stuff, and then of course airsoft when they were probably Chris, were you like 10 or 11 when you got your first airsoft pistol that one time? Or maybe that was you
Oh,
were like 12 or
geez.
13 when we were
I don't
here.
remember that.
Remember you
Um,
and Colton and Connor used to run around the backyard and
yeah,
shoot
yeah, the
each
little
other?
springers. Yeah,
The little
yeah. We used to
springers?
have those
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
We
think that was
like you
probably
guys
your
in the house,
first.
we would shoot them in the house and mess up ceilings and walls.
Yeah, for
I
real.
remember when we used to do paintball. I remember I played like once or twice back when we lived
Yep.
in Ohio, and you had bought me that what was it, the Titman Spider package? It was like the spider with like the tank and then the hopper and all that.
Was it that red one? The
It was the
red
red and
spider?
black one.
Yep. hmm
Yeah,
You had that for a long time, dude.
yeah. I think did I play with that thing or did I do a rental? Because I know we only played a couple times.
Um, yeah, I can't
I
remember.
think I may have played with it once.
I know you
Other
had
than
it
that,
here.
yeah, it sat for a long time.
Yeah. Remember we
I
went and
think,
there was a local place here. We went and got the airfield. But
yeah, uh-huh.
most of the time, I didn't buy a whole lot of guns. I think I bought a, Titman 98. One of the most common ones back then, and I ran with that for a long time. It was, I had a blast.
I still have my Dye I3 mask that I had for paintball,
Oh shit! Okay.
Oh, go on.
and
I agree, yeah.
I actually added. I took off the lower and added a mesh piece to it. Then I
Okay.
put a fan kit on it. I
Nice.
use that as my spare mask because I have a helmet and the whole nine set up. I still have that Dye I3 mask that I had for paintball, and I still have a JT Airsoft paintball with the ear guards.
Oh my gosh.
One of those. They've got like the big flat plastic
Yep.
piece you used to put on here. I took the ridge off, or the little helmet
The
part for the
visor,
hat.
yeah.
I took the visor off. That's an extra mask if somebody wants to play airsoft out here, because
Yep.
I'm like, even now that doesn't fog me.
Oh, that's
So,
crazy.
Mask has to be 13,
Right.
14 years old, and that sucker still don't fog for me.
Yep.
So it's a great piece of kit, but you can't buy them now. So
Right.
Right.
No, you got to buy the anti-fog ones that fog in like 5 seconds.
Dude, seriously.
baloney.
False advertising.
Bunch of baloney. My X-Fog. If it wasn't for my X-Fog,
Oh,
probably
yeah.
wouldn't even be able to enjoy airsoft. At least during
Every-
the hotter days.
Yeah, every single thing that I've tried to buy, I fog it up instantly. I have to. The only solution I found is that X Fog. That helps me.
I always wanted to get one of those, but I never. Oh, I had the helmet with the fan kit I put in it,
Yeah.
so I didn't really mess around with it. You ever see? I don't know who sold it. Was it Evike or was it Airsoft GI? They used to sell a fan kit for a helmet. The whole idea behind it was that you mount it on the back of your helmet and put these things into your, the tubes into your goggles, just like an X-Fog. That's what it basically looked like. But then I saw a guy called Brain Exploder. You probably saw some
Oh
of
yeah,
his
Oh
I
yeah.
know who that is.
Yeah,
He
yep.
makes the,
fan into the top of his helmet and ran the tubes inside. So I said, if he can do that, I can do that too.
Right. I think he had.
It might be hard to see it on video, but actually have the goggles that you can just take right off the helmet with, without having to do a whole bunch of stuff. It's of course everything's wrapped around it now. Oh yeah, it's twisted. It's a one Tigress. Well, gotta show it. One Tigress mask with some belt. The fan. I don't know if you can see that on video.
I see it.
Right
I
on
see
the top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the one little tube, have it running out right here. It goes right into the top of the goggles.
Oh, that's
The
cool.
big thing is, you turn this on, hard to hear. Not only does it blow air into my goggles, but it blows air down on top of my head.
What?
Oh, that's good. That's cool.
I could be, completely sweating my ass off and not fogging up, but just be soaking wet, turn on the fan, and everybody be, what's that noise? What's that noise? And I'm just sitting there getting my little air conditioning on. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
And if you guys ever take a shot in the ear, you want to have some kind of flaps on the side. I don't know if you can see them.
Yeah, I've been shot in the ear.
Trust me, I've taken a couple shots in the ear. They're not fun.
Yeah, I always wear like some kind of baklava or like schmog or whatever. To at least cover my ears with some kind of fabric. So the BB doesn't go into my ear.
A little bit of something.
I remember one of the first times I got hit hard enough with a paintball that it dropped me to my knees. I remember we were playing capture the flag. We went over, me and a buddy went over, and we had a 2-man squad, and we're creeping up on this on their flag. I'm like, this is awesome. Nobody's around. We were all cammied out, had almost like a partial ghillie suit. We just took some leaves and stuck them all over us. And branches. We're sitting here for about a good 5 minutes, eyeing this flag. We're just waiting to see any kind of movement, I'm like, I'm going to grab, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to grab the flag and take off, bro. And I'm going to make it. I was in really good shape. I was just, just out of the Marine Corps. So I'm like, nobody's going to hit me. Man, I'm not kidding. I'm just looking like this. And so my whole neck's exposed. I go like this to look over here and bow, right in my jugular, bro. And this dude was probably like 30 feet away, laying like a sniper in the leaves, covered in leaves. Did not see him, did not move. He was good. I mean, it hit so hard, bro. I fell to my knees. I was like, oh, I mean, I could barely breathe. I was like, holy shit, man. I had some welts going home that day.
Yeah, man, those paints got some weight behind it.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's probably the big thing why Airsoft is starting to pick up more now anyway, is because some people, including myself, not going to lie, we're probably more content with getting hit with a little piece of plastic than getting hit with a big paintball. I mean, a lot of people they have to be thinking about that. Like, man, I'd rather get hit with that than with that. And I think that's why Airsoft is probably getting more popular, is because people in their minds think, okay, it's not going to be as painful. When in reality, they're both painful. In my opinion, I think paintball would be probably a little bit more painful, but at the end of the day, you're going to shoot people. You're going to get people out. So you have to expect to get hit in the places that you don't want to get hit. That's the places that they can see the quickest, like you peeking around the corner. I mean, that's your whole head exposed. You're going to get hit in your face somewhere. So, it's going to happen.
That's part of it.
As I get older and the skin gets tougher, like them hits don't really do much damage. When I was young, you'd turn around the corner and get a chest full of BBs. You'd look in the mirror and you'd say, "What the hell happened to me? It looks like I got smallpox or something all over my chest."
Right.
I get shot and someone will tell me, "Oh, geez, look, he made me bleed," and I said, "I got shot at the same spot."
Nothing.
Like, it's all that
That's
tenure
that
right
old.
here.
It's like what I'm getting, that old leathery skin.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Natural armor. Yeah.
Right.
That's funny.
Now, how did you go from paintball to airsoft? Did you have some friends that kind of transitioned over early on, or?
When I was working at this one place, and we all talked about paintball, different things, and this new guy that we hired, he actually ran a team, airsoft, and he showed me the stuff, and I'm like, wow, this is really nice. And he said, "Oh, I got another guy that's about your age. He plays airsoft. I'll hook you up with him and he'll tell you what you got to buy. Well, he said to me, he said, you got to buy the best stuff. And he says, don't be afraid to spend money. And he says, I'll tell you what to get. So first thing I did is I went out and bought an actual TM MP5 RAS.
Oh, shit.
Jesus.
At the time, they were about $480.
Damn.
So that's a
An
lot.
MP5. He says, that's good, but you need a pistol with that. I said, okay. I bought an original KWA M9, 3 mags. And this thing is a big block square, doesn't even look like an M9. It's one of the original ones. And I'm like, I got it in a box. I don't even shoot it anymore. And he says, you know what else you need to get? I said, tell me. He said, you're a big guy, so you got to get a saw. Okay, what do I got to get? He said, you should buy a classic Army M249 MK1 at the time. Not the two, the new one, the MK1. He said, you got to get that. $680 that was.
Oh, my
Jeez.
God.
And
Now, what kind of work were you doing at the time?
I was doing IT work. I was working as network administrator for a large glass factory.
Oh, okay.
And, I was working like an idiot. I was working 6 days a week, 12 hours a day.
Yep.
And, whenever I needed time off, I just say, I'm taking 3 days off. And they'd be like, yeah, okay, because I'm there all the time.
Right.
So I was making money, and and I thought it was like the paintball stuff. If you want to buy, you're buying the best stuff. You're buying the classic Army, which was the only thing that was available. You're buying the TM, which was the only thing available.
Yeah.
And he said, and try and find something that's unusual that nobody else will have. And I'm like, okay. So I got an original Kraft Appleworks grenade launcher.
What?
Ever see one of those?
No, I've never even heard of that name.
It's just like the ICS makes one now. It's a revolver launcher.
Oh, okay.
The Kraft Appleworks was special because it had a front end kit that had a stock kit. So you could put a stock on this thing, and you could put a front end on it with like rails on it and stuff like that. And I remember when I bought that, it was just a little square one, looked like the ICS one. That's how small it was. That was $600.
Oh my God.
Front end kit was $280. The stock kit was cheaper, was only $225. I know these prices because everybody keeps asking me about how much did it cost you to do this? How much did it cost you to do that? And I'm like, they were lots of money. And he said, what else you got to get? You got to get an SMG. And this is the guy that keeps giving me advice, so I just buy it.
The MP5. What the heck?
No. He said because the RAS was had the extended stock on it, and it came with a full stock too, right? But it was like a TM, but it had a metal front end, which was TM didn't do that often. So he says to me, "You got to get a smaller SMG." So I went out and I bought a TM 10.
Oh my gosh.
$400.
Woo!
That thing was phenomenal. I had a lot of fun with it. And they say, here, that's all you need to go to a game. So think about that. A grenade launcher, an LMG, I got an MP5, and I got a MAC-10 and a pistol. And my first event I went to, I thought I had to have all that on me.
Oh my God.
I think I ran up the hill for the game. I'm like panting. I'm like, this is just so heavy. I think I worked for about an hour, and that was it. And then I got rid of the saw, I got rid of the launcher, and I ran around with the MP5 and the MAC-10. And at the time, the TM MAC-10 shot 250 with 2.0s.
Okay.
So think about that. But that thing would shoot 100 feet. It would just float that BB out there like nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, there's a guy. I put it on semi and bang, 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 bang. The guy would go.
Oh, he had so much time to move. Yeah.
I'm like, what's wrong with this gun? There's something wrong with this gun. I can't hit these people. And there's an actual picture of me. Like I was aiming pretty good, and I'm like, why isn't he going down? And I leaned against the fence so I could get a good aim. And I'm like, I'm hitting him, but he's not feeling it. He's moving out of the way. I'm like, that was my first experience with actually shooting someone at an event. We had played like scrims around the woods and stuff like that. But it was so much like an experience from paintball where I shot somebody, you saw the paint, he got hit, I know I got hit.
Right.
So, and you're shooting people at like closer distances.
Closer, yeah.
And that was another thing. I thought, oh, I've got 400 rounds. I'll never run out.
Yeah.
I got a pistol with 3 mags and 26 rounds each. I'll never run out all day. I got an MP5 with 3 50-round mags. I'm good for the day.
Yeah.
Like, what, 2 hours? And I'm like, okay, I don't know. What do we do now? You know?
Screwed.
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't know that guy was Neo from the Matrix. He had that bullet time. He was like,
Yeah.
I see your babies. You ain't hitting me.
The saw was, and that was another thing. No one ever explained to me that you could load the saw box mag up. I went out and bought 5 box mags because I figured you had to have 5 box mags with you.
Oh, my God.
Jeez.
You don't. Hey, you're former military. You don't carry like rounds that you put into a box mag. You had
No.
a couple box mags with you.
Yes.
Right.
So that's my thinking. I had to have
Yeah.
a couple of box mags. So I
Yeah.
had one that came with the gun, and I bought 4 other ones.
Well, you were mil sim ready right in the beginning.
Seriously.
Like, seriously.
I started out trying to buy all the stuff that I saw online. I had a bunch of Marusian stuff.
Jeez.
A lot of stuff that was out there. I've been selling it off right and left during COVID, but I bought stuff to collect it. I got hooked up with a guy in California, and he says to me, I'll make you a 30 caliber. That was one of the first guns I bought off this guy. It's based off an M14. It had an automatic drum mag, and he made the gun from Terminator 3. Ever see when he's carrying the casket out and he's shooting at people?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a former
That's
prop
awesome.
maker. He made the gun for Doom. So that The Rock was shooting.
Yep.
He actually made that gun. They put the special effects to it, but he actually made that ABS gun for him to carry.
Oh, that's crazy.
This is the guy that I got in contact with, and he made that 30 caliber, and I said, I used that for so long. It was only an M14, only shot about 300 with 2 O's.
Yep.
It just had that intimidation factor, and it was made out of ABS. It was so light you could hold it up with one hand. It was really nice.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Oh. That's cool to have a contact because California, that's where probably most airsoft stuff is in California. You know,
Yeah, for
stores,
us.
players, field. That's
Yep.
probably the biggest state, in my opinion, for airsoft. But
In the U.S.
it's growing. It's growing. I feel like the East Coast is getting there. There's actually a lot throughout the East Coast. They're just spread out amongst multiple states rather than, you know, California being a massive state. You know,
what is there like? There's Modern Airsoft. That's Cali.
Cali
That's
e-bike.
Oceanside.
E-bike is in Cali,
Yeah.
although I believe they have one in Texas. Chris, is that
Yeah,
right?
but their main and then
Airsoft
Airsoft
GI,
GI is
Megastore.
Cali.
Yeah, GI, Megastores are there.
What about? Oh yeah, Megastore. Yeah. No shit.
Yeah, the Megastore is probably.
What about Amped?
Yeah.
Don't they have a
No,
store?
they're in.
They're in PA.
Are they in? Yeah, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You know, what made you want to start your own channel and website and all that stuff that you had going?
Well, when I joined the team, they didn't. It's sort of like a roundabout story. When I joined the team, they didn't have a place to play. They would just go in this guy's backyard, and you got houses here, houses there, and I was like, hey man, that's really not cool. You'd be shooting over by that guy's house. He might get pissed. Oh, he's cool with it. But I said, I don't want to do
So you
that.
break some windows.
Yeah.
So I had 6.4 acres in back of my house that we weren't doing nothing with. So I decided to start creating a field there. And that gave the people somewhere to play. Then he then said, hey, we need a way to communicate. So this is before the big Facebook thing and all that. I said, let's start a forum. He actually had a forum.
Yeah.
And I said,
That's what you did back in the old
I
days.
said, and then I said, we have to have a website. And then eventually we have to have our own Discord. We have to have this. We have to have that. And it just sort of blossomed out of that. I'm like, I'm the secretary of the team. Everybody hands everything to me, and I make it happen. You know, they said, we need a blog, we need this, we need that. So that's what I do, and I put it together. And it started back from a need that everybody, they didn't know how to advertise it, and people know about our team, to where I'm at right now.
Yeah. And then you started taking videos and editing, and
The big thing with that was the way the videos started is we wanted to share it with the rest of the team. And like I say, oh, I got this new gun, or I got this new grenade, maybe you guys might want this. So I made a video about it so they could see it. It was basically just for the team, and if anybody else wanted to look at it, that was fine.
right.
And I started doing a lot of videos on the different type of grenades and projectiles you could use with them, and like just looking at some of the guns that I would make up or mess around with and do things with. And it was just a way to get it so that my guys could look at it, and that's how I've always had the channel. It's just a way for our guys to see the footage of stuff that's been going on. And you know, some people follow it. I don't have a real big following like you guys do, but I said I put a lot of stuff up there, and I think it's interesting. You know, if it's something that I come up with that to fix something, you know, put it up there. Maybe help somebody out. You know,
Right.
it's a big
Right.
help.
Yeah, well, we need a lot of those kind of channels because there's a lot of people that want to do customization, fix stuff. You know, that's just it's satisfactory to be
Especially
able to do
fix
your own
stuff.
stuff. Right. Exactly.
So many things to do with airsoft just break all the time.
Oh yeah.
Or
And
you
a lot
have
of people
little
think they
issues
can just
here
go
and
into
there.
the sport. They think they can just go in, buy a couple things, and that's it. When in reality, there's a lot of customization that needs to happen for you to have that expectation of a good time. Because when you go in and you bring a friend or a family member to the field and they're playing, and you're, you know, the first 30 minutes, an hour is great. And then as soon as that person starts sweating a lot, or as soon as this, as soon as that, stuff starts fogging up. They don't have the X fog, they don't have fans or anything. That's the first issue everybody has an issue with. Unless you're like, you know, unless you just don't sweat, which most people do. They'll just be out. They'll be out. Like, that's it. I've lost so many friends because they just don't have the right stuff. So they just have to sit out. Because you can't just be taking your goggles off in the middle of the game and wiping them off. You can't do that.
We get this question all the time on our Discord. You know, people are like, "Hey, I have," you know, and they're typically teenagers, right? "Hey, I saved up $100. I'm really anxious to go play airsoft, and what do you guys recommend?" And then everyone blasts the fuck out of them about, "Oh no, they just shoot their hopes down." Because they act like you got to have the best shit. You just save up your money until you have $500. And I'm like, dude, if this kid's excited to play, he's going to go play in his backyard with his friends like one day in the next 6 months. Okay? Yes, you can get a Lancer Tactical and a battery and a fucking BBs and go out and play.
Like around $150.
Everyone is always
You'll be
shitting
good.
all over Lancer Tactical and all these guns that are good starter guns, in my opinion, because with our experience with them, we've had, you know, a handful of them, and they don't break the first time we use them. I
Yeah.
mean,
Colton still runs his Lancer Tactical.
That's what I'm
At
saying.
our Milsims.
everyone
He
always
literally runs the
blasts all
same
these
one.
guys like, dude, you gotta have all this expensive stuff. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, we started off in paintball and airsoft like super cheap, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you're only gonna play now, if you want to go to a milsim, that's a whole other story. You know.
Yeah.
You
You're
could still
gonna
probably
have
get
some
away
good
with
shit.
less stuff. You probably could get away with it, but if you really want to, you're going to be up against people that have the best stuff.
Yeah.
So if you go in there with stuff that's not, you know, it's like then it's going to be like an experience because you're going to get lit the hell up.
Well, I promise you right now, let's say a Marine or a military guy that's got some tactical experience, give him the cheapest fucking airsoft gun on the planet. Okay, not a Springer, but you know, an AG.
There's videos on that stuff.
And
they gave like the cheapest one. They gave
Give
it to
somebody
them,
else
rock
that don't
people.
know shit about tactics,
Yep.
and give them the highest Polar Star fucking, you know, top gear on the planet. He's gonna lose. I don't care what your gear is, bro.
Yeah.
This dude, if it shoots like shit and it's like the hop's all fucked up and it's all going like this, that guy that has training, he'll do some Kentucky windage and still get your ass out before you get.
Woundage.
I mean, for real. You know,
But I mean,
you
like
don't
if he knows
have.
the basics of hop up, he can also just tune
Oh
it on
yeah,
the fly
yeah.
too.
For
you
real.
know?
Yeah.
But
Yep.
My friend John, he's former special forces. He's about my age. He does that. He'll come with like an LPEG on purpose, play all day with that, and you'll turn around and there he is with the gun. He said, "You're dead." It's just like,
Bang, bang.
okay, you're right there. And
Oh shit.
a lot of fun playing. He brings a spring pistol, just
Oh shit.
that reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
He will
hilarious.
come up to you, and he'll come up to you, and put his arm around you, and go, "You're dead." And keep moving.
Oh,
I mean, you're aiming there, look at something, and you feel this around your chest. He puts his hand on you and says, "You're dead." And I'm like, "Where the fuck did you come from?" I'm like, you look at the guy, and he's very like non-imposing.
Yeah.
You never figure that. And I'm like, you give him something, put him out in the woods, and like he's an animal, man.
Yeah. He blends right
that's
in.
Awesome. I love that stuff.
I see that a lot, though. Everybody's like slamming on people that like. One guy come to an open play, and he had like an LPEG. He had a Springer. He was wearing jeans, and he had a regular small little goggle set. He had a blast.
Yeah.
Everybody's like busting on him, and I said, "I'll trade you guns right now. You can use mine, I'll use yours." I said,
Yeah.
Your gun, you're having fun with it. That's the name of the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Eventually, he'll get something if he likes what he's doing and he's encouraged. He might buy something else better.
Right.
But if you're just going to bust on them, make them feel like shit during the game, they're going to say, "Oh, I don't want to play airsoft no more." They're all a bunch of assholes that come play that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to
It
support
happens more than it happens more often than you think. Like when we played at SQ, that's where you see a lot of. It's like an open play day. We see a lot of like all sides of the spectrum. You got your people that might come kitted like they're going to Milsim, people that are coming like you said in jeans, just there to have a good time, and they're always the ones that are just laughing and having a good time. Not to say that the ones that are kitted aren't having a good time either. But there's you have to kind of know, and that goes to the like Milsim portion of airsoft. You kind of have to know your event that you're going to. A lot of people, like for example, my cousin invited his friend over to play with us at a big Milsim, a 3-day event, and it was the first time that he ever played airsoft.
Oh shit.
And he's texting me in a group chat with my cousin, like, "Hey man, what am I gonna need?" I'm like, it's kind of a loaded question because you're coming to an event.
Like,
that
are you ready?
I needed like a year worth of like knowledge and just failures to know what I need, and it's like now you're asking me what you need, and it's kind of hard to do that. So, you just gotta have to know the event that you're going to.
You should never invite someone for their first time playing airsoft to a big Milsim. That's never the way to go.
Right.
Yeah. It's a SQ like a 1-day event. You go, it's open play. You try it out. That's where we, Chris. Is that the first place that we started? Was SQ? Was that
my first like actual like pickup game? It was at SQ.
SQ?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a really freaking awesome time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It made me want to like after I played, it made me want to get more stuff.
Yeah. Like I had I think my
when you go to a structured event, it gives you that thrill. That first event was a 40 versus 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's
fun.
good.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, this was down in Pennsylvania. This was southern Pennsylvania, out an hour and a half down from where I live right now. Mm-hmm. And it was always there. The game starts at 9 o'clock. You had to be there at 8 so we could get on. And when he said the game started at 9 o'clock, he started it. If you're still gearing up, too bad, so sad.
Sorry.
Started the game. But 40 versus 40 game in this area. And there was like 2 simple objectives during the day. And it was basically a force on force all day. But you got to remember, this is back like 2004.
Wow. So 40 on 40 is that high.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody had really hot guns. I think the one guy had an M14 that we thought was wild because it was shooting like 350 with 2.0. And I'm like, he had an M14 that sounded like it was ready to die with that 8.4 NIM battery.
Oh my God, that's funny. How did you come up with the nickname Keeper?
Well, and I originally ran, this is a long time ago, and this will show my age as well, BBS, Bulletin Board Service, back in 1986.
Woo!
And my handle was Weapon Master, or to the Keep. And they shortened it and started calling me Keeper. So I've had that nickname from 1986. And that sort of translated all the way through paintball, my gamer tag, you name it, I'm Keeper. And now people get to the point where they just come up to you, hey, Keep, how you doing? They don't even say Keeper anymore. They just call me Keep.
Yeah.
So,
Hey.
all right. I'm still not getting the video. I don't know what the hell I did, guys.
Why don't we do this? Why don't you hit the X, disconnect,
All right.
and then rejoin the call, and because it should still show up on your Discord screen.
Oh, you
Oh,
got
there you go.
Don't do anything.
There he is.
You got
All
it.
right. There was a prompt on the back of this screen that was behind this one that said, "You want to turn the camera back on?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'll turn the camera back on."
Sounds good.
I ain't touching nothing again. Like, I ain't doing nothing with this.
Well, we'll have to. What we'll do is we'll have to have you on again and do like a gun show kind of thing. Show off those some of those cool guns you're talking about.
The ones you have left.
Yeah.
I have a gentleman in Ohio that wants to buy my whole collection. He started buying all my World War II ones that I had.
Oh yeah.
I sold him my 2 STG 44s. I sold him my 2 MP 40s. I sold him my Luger. I sold him my broom handle.
Dude, that's
I
cool. I didn't know you had all
still
those.
I still have my Sten that I upgraded to a Mark
nice.
V.
Hell yeah.
I sold him 4 or 5 other ones too. He bought all the World War II ones, and he's got a bunch. I still have my Thompson too that I put original 1950 Thompson furniture on. That was
Dude, that's freaking sweet.
That is cool.
Oh man, that would be amazing. So that's
I
the iconic
remember,
clip that it has.
What was what we got? The
We got
what
the
were the
grease
World War
gun.
II? Yeah, we got the grease gun.
The grease gun. We also
we
yeah,
got some.
yeah.
we got the Chicago.
I don't think we ever got. Oh, that's right.
Those the
We didn't
Thompson
actually
with,
get
like,
any real World War II replicas because the one that what was it? The Sturg, or no? The
Stein, I think, right? Was it the Stein?
yeah,
The
Well,
all
the
metal
side-
one.
all metal. The side
One that
fed.
we got
That
from
was
the
the
World
one.
War II box.
The Sten.
Right.
Ben. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sten.
Yeah.
Sten.
And we the side fed magazine,
Yes.
and that was the one that I had these guys shoot me in the hand with. Because I was always, from the beginning of our channel, I was talking shit because I was paintballer, and I was like, airsoft doesn't even hurt, bro. Look at these BBs. You can just watch them fly over here and hit the the tree or the target when we test them out. I'm like, there's no way that thing hurts. And yeah, and this thing was shooting 380, okay, with .2s. It was full auto, shooting about 20, RPS, and I think they were about 40 feet, 30, 40 feet, which is pretty close.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, go ahead. I'm sitting here drinking a beer. I'm like, yeah, I stick my hand out, like sideways like this. And I just turn my head away. I'm not even wearing safety glasses, bro. I'm just like, yeah, just let loose. This is actually my youngest son who was in a couple of our really early videos. And him and Chris did not want to do it, man. They were like, Dad, no, this is going to hurt. I'm like, I don't care. Go ahead. Man, he unloaded the whole mag on my hand. Woo!
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
I mean, it had to be like what, over 100 rounds easy.
Oh, I don't know.
Like,
Yeah,
how
it was a
much it
lot.
held. It was like a all metal mid cap, wasn't it? Like the
Yeah.
whole gun
Yeah,
was
like a
all
buck
metal
20, I
and all
think, in the mag. Yeah.
The
Dude,
Stens
yeah.
came with the 50-round metal ones and the 120-round polymer ones.
that. I think
yeah.
it was the
And it was the
small metal
120
one, 50 rounder.
or
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know
Yeah,
which one you're
dude.
talking about now.
The
That's right.
Sten and the MP40 were both made by AGM at the time, and they
Yeah.
took the same mags. And you could buy the metal ones or the 120-round polymer ones, which broke real easy.
I gotta say
Oh,
though,
right.
I needed that. I needed that as a reference point. I needed a benchmark because all the tests we were doing, like because I never went out and played with these guys, and I just ran the channel and videos and edit whatever, and bark orders at these guys about hurry up and do a video, and then but they were the ones out there playing. So I'm like, dude, there's no way it hurts. So it was a really good benchmark for me. And that thing, my hand swelled up like I got, bit by a rattlesnake or something. I mean, it was this high. I had, blood blisters just everywhere. I mean, it broke the skin. I was bleeding. And of course, I'm trying to be tough in front of my kids. I'm like, yeah, that didn't hurt. As I'm drinking more beer, like, oh Lord
Like,
Jesus,
please let the pain go away.
it was so bad. And then of course the days after with it healing, it was so sore. All my tendons for my fingers were just demolished, bro. I could not make a fist. I think for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I said I'll never make fun of airsoft again.
And you got to take that and think that most of these milsims that we go to, guns are shooting hotter than that, and you have a
Right.
0-foot med. So someone can be point blank on your neck and shoot you with
Yeah.
a gun shooking hotter than that.
Well, that's when
It
you
was
learn
pretty hurt,
the
yeah.
importance of covering all of your
Yeah.
open-skinned areas.
All the gear. From your failures, you will know what you need the next time you play.
Hey,
Yeah.
pain is the
So-
ultimate teacher, bro.
Yeah.
I remember the last time we went to GTI for Black Start. We were inside. I took my glove off my left hand for some reason. I can't remember why. I think I was trying to
Mistake.
adjust something and I couldn't feel my fingers. So I did that. I took my glove off, and then we got in contact like right after I did that. So I'm like probably like 10 feet contact distance. They were coming through a doorway. I was holding my gun up, and I got shot right in the knuckles in the top of the hand. And it hit so hard, like blood was literally splattering on my gear. Like that's how hard it hit. Like I was bleeding, like dripping blood.
Jesus, that's funny
Yeah.
because my knuckle, I got hit in the same spot. I was using the CQR, that one right there,
Hell yeah.
and because of that, the Hera Arms grip on the front. You have the thumb in it, and then the rest is in the front. So as you can see, my grip is basically in the front of my entire body. So when I have my gun, it's like
Yeah.
this. So I got the guy out, but he, out of reaction, he turned and shot anyway, and hit me right on this, like, peak of my knuckle, right there. And I cannot put too much pressure on it, or it feels like I'm being stabbed. Still,
Mhm.
it's been
Jeez.
like 8 months. No, wait, yeah, almost 8 months.
That's
And I
a
have like
that's
I have
a
like
bone bruise. Yep.
Yeah, dude, it still has a knot on it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm like, could it
You
not
get a
have just
bone
shot me
bruise, it'll
somehow?
feel like a knife if you touch it. It'll
Oh,
feel like you're
dude.
getting stabbed. Yeah.
It's awful. Anyway, that's probably the worst thing I've ever gotten from airsoft, but
Yeah.
it's not.
See-
It's expected.
You got any major scars?
Oh God, I got a finger that don't bend all the way from getting hit by paintballs with it when I didn't wear gloves.
Ooh.
Like playing airsoft, I fell forward with no gloves on, and I got a scar on my hand. And the worst injury I ever had was I stepped in the snow. I stepped over a stump. It locked my right leg. I went down in a hole past the stump. I kept going
Good.
forward. My foot was locked in place.
Oh.
Shattered my leg and drove the bones into my knee.
Ooh.
Holy fuck!
Ooh, that sounds
So wait,
crunchy.
so visually wise, like you stepped over a stump.
And it went into a hole, and
Right.
I kept going.
Oh.
Fell forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so my leg is locked in place.
Ooh wee.
My buddy behind
Oh, okay. Understand.
said, sounded like plastic snapping.
Oh,
my
it makes me
God.
cringe, bro. Yes.
That's what you
Carried me
call
off.
blind
Yeah.
man. Blind man.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah, for
crap!
real.
That's nuts.
But, that sort of limited me the last
I was
couple
gonna say,
of
that-
years.
Took you
Well,
out
yeah,
for a
no
little while.
doubt, man. Well, when did that happen?
2017. Actually,
Oh shit.
yeah, so that's been a while, but
Not that long ago.
it was funny. I got laid off from my last job. I've never been fired from a job. I got laid off of every job I ever worked at.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, over the 30 years I worked.
Right.
And I'm retired now, but I had just got laid off. And we played airsoft the next Saturday, and that's when I did it.
Oh, of
Oh my
course.
gosh.
Naturally.
Which was it was fine because I wasn't working.
Right. Right.
But, you have like 5
Night.
surgeries and a
Oh,
bunch of, uh, physical therapy, and I'm walking around good. It still hurts. What the hell? But that sort of slowed me down a lot doing stuff.
I'm sure.
So,
Yeah.
and,
Man.
that, and I was never the guy to run out to start with. And now I'm not the guy that's ever going to run out to start with.
Yeah, you
I
really
still,
kind of put the nail in the coffin on that one.
Yeah.
I still go out and have a lot of fun. And one of the biggest things that I'm having a lot of fun with is sniping now.
I was just
Right
gonna say,
below
aren't
you,
you?
you know,
Haven't you switched
How
to
do you like
sniping?
that? How do you like that? Genuinely, like,
It has to. You have to have the right mindset, because a friend of mine, he likes to be a sniper, but he likes to shoot a lot. And as a sniper, you can't shoot a lot.
Oh.
My sniper rifle
Yeah.
I came with 4 15-round mags. That was 60 rounds for a game that I had.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm picking my shots. I'm having a lot of fun. If I
Yeah.
follow up a shot quick with a second shot, I give my position away.
Right.
I would go slowly, and I'm not wearing a big ghillie suit or anything like that. I hunted for years in the woods, so I'm like, I'm using the trees to block your view. I'm
Yeah.
blending in with the shadows. I'm trying to be very inconspicuous. I don't have to like lay down and get like this huge ghillie suit to be hidden.
Yeah.
Usually just sat in some ferns the one time and rested my gun on a rock, my head to the side, and the guy's like, "I never saw you there," and I'm like, "I saw you."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a mindset, though. If you like to shoot people and run up and gun and get in the action, you're not going to be a sniper,
Right.
because you have to learn patience. And if you get 1 or 2 kills during a game, that's a lot. Sometimes.
Yeah, that's good. Right.
And sometimes you have to let the shots go by. I actually watched a 7-man squad walk by me.
Yeah, that's
just-
the hard part
I
about
just-
sniping.
Yeah, see,
And I sat there, and I
Yeah.
cannot shoot that last guy, because if I shoot the last guy, he's
You're
going to go
done.
down or yell hit or whatever, and then
Yep.
everybody turns around,
Yep.
see me there.
Yep.
Yeah.
now let me ask you: do you
Yeah.
carry a sidearm? I would imagine
Yeah,
that you
all
would.
the time. And it's required on some of the fields I'm on. 100-foot at minimum engagement distance. It's either like a 500 with 2 O's or a 500 with 2 5s. The different fields we go on. You have to have a secondary sidearm because of the 100-foot engagement distance. If they get underneath that, you have to draw your sidearm and shoot them.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So, it got to the point, and I actually have, it's funny, I don't have a super sidearm that I use when I snipe. I have an electric pistol.
Oh shit.
He has the
Okay.
USP, or not the USP, but the
They're CM30
AEP.
that I got tricked out a little bit, that actually put a little grenade launcher on the front of it. 40-round Zaxxon grenade launcher.
What?
That's my ultimate if I'm getting overrun and I can't get the hell out of there. I'm like,
Hell
last
yeah.
resort is
Reminds me of the
blast
shower
off.
gun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I've had a lot of fun over the last couple of years just doing that. Even going to an open play, just let everybody run up, and I go
Yeah.
off to the side in the woods, just wait for somebody to stop in my line of sight. And they'd be
Do
looking
you
around.
run solo?
What I get? Yeah, so
Do you normally run solo, or do you run maybe like with a pair, you and a buddy,
Oh.
or
it depends. Like if we went to an op, like we went to a recent op recently, and
right?
I ran with a guy he had a really nice Crytek, and he was my spotter. He had to engage a lot of people because they were like assaulting us. They were running at me. I can't fire at them. I pull out the pistol. At least he's there with the Crytek, but he was my spotter, and he would move and call out people to me that he knew he wasn't going to hit.
Oh, cool.
I was
Oh,
it
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, I got 2 targets on the left, and we're like right next to each other, so we don't have to be on the radio or anything. He's just whispering me, 2 targets on the left of that white building ahead of you. 12. And I go up there, I say, 1. Second one, got him. He said, we've got targets moving to the right, and I'd slowly move over so I could get him. That was the most fun I've ever had because I knew he had my back.
Right.
So he had a weapon that fired full auto, that had some decent range, that could protect me while I moved back, And then when he got set, I could protect him while he came back. And it was a
Right.
lot of fun. He got killed a lot, but what the hell? It was just a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Some of the
I've been
most
wanting
fun
to
I
try
ever
sniping.
had sniping. It
Yeah.
was probably, I think the only time I actually sniped was that gameplay video that we made.
Yep. I remember
We
that.
were at Red Fox.
Yep.
And that was actually the most kills I've ever gotten to in a day. It was in that sniper. For
There are
whatever reason, I could run, the saw, full auto, everything, and I don't get as many kills when I snipe. I think it's because when you, like you said, with the mindset, you're moving slower, you're taking a position, you're kind of holding it, you're not really moving. So people are distracted by your teammates all running around, all that stuff, so they don't really see you. And then you see them pop out of cover, and then you can just wait for that perfect shot. There's a lot of times where I literally just sat on the corner of a building. I just had regular camis on, a boonie hat. I wasn't like gillied up or nothing. I would just sit on the corner of a building, standing straight up, and I would just hold an angle, and people would literally come out from behind a building and looking around, don't even see me, and then I take them out.
Chris, does any of them not feel the BB too? I run into that quite a bit. That's why I went up to them.
Yeah, it's a lot of the further shots you hit them. You hit them, like you can see through your scope, and then they don't really call it. And I think it's just because you're so far away, they don't feel it through their gear, which is fine. It happens. Just rebolt around and try to keep hitting them.
Hit him in the sweet spots. That's what I get from all the videos
I will
see.
say I was using 4.3s in the gun that I was using, and most people felt it for sure.
Yeah.
I had a guy gave me it was a UHC. It's like an old off-brand piece of junk that he tore apart, didn't know how to put back together. So I put some odd parts in it. He gave it to me, and I think I put about $40 in it. That includes the scope I put on too.
Hell yeah.
I got it back
nice.
together. And I was using 3.0s with it. It was very loud. The gun was very loud when it would go off. It would really give you position away, so it was more for fun than anything else. And I used that in open plays. People could hear me shooting, and with the 3.0s, that had a 30-round magazine. That was nice, but with the 3.0s, I just didn't have the distance, and they'd get shot, and somebody'd be like, "Did I get hit?" and keep firing. They couldn't feel the 3.0.
Right.
Yeah.
It is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to take a sniper rifle to an open play if you can get to the right spot and have some fun.
Right.
And
That's the
if you
thing.
ever listen to some of the sniper videos that my friend does, he goes with me. He's a sniper. They usually split us up, and you'll hear him on the video, and I catch him wherever he's at, and I start to try to pin him down. You'll hear him say, "Damn you, keeper! Oh, God damn it, keeper!" Like I'm shooting at him, and you hear the BBs going off at him. I always laugh so hard every time I hear that in the video of that he says that.
Because it's like, yes,
I
I did my job. Right.
Now,
right.
does he have his own? He posts on YouTube. He has a channel.
Well, he actually gives me the footage, and I put it up on my channel. He actually he does Lego stuff. He has his Lego channel. He doesn't put airsoft stuff.
Okay.
All right.
That's cool.
Cool.
He's a fireman, so he does a lot of
nice.
Lego fire trucks and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
That's cool.
it's pretty cool. But it's a
Very
lot
cool.
of fun. If you want to have a ball, though, get an HBA pistol and HBA tap it and run it on at an open play game as your primary.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
so much fun. People will outrange you, but it'll be a lot of fun having an HBA pistol at a game.
Moving and yeah.
Yeah,
I
we just gotten our feet wet with HPA, so we have a couple of rifles. I don't think we have a pistol yet. That's HPA specific, anywho.
But take a regular gas blowback and HPA tap the
right, the mag itself. Yeah.
Mm.
So
I like if you get a gas blowback and you do get an adapter, like a primary airsoft adapter.
Right.
That's a Glock mag right there.
Right.
And you could put a MP5 mag on it.
Oh, okay.
Your HPA on there, and you run a gas mag.
Hell
A gas Glock, an MP5 mag, 90-round mag. That's when this is a lot of fun. I don't
That's
go to CQB, so I'm indoors. So this is all outdoor stuff that I do this with. So
Yeah.
these are a lot of fun when you do something like that. They
That's
have the
awesome.
M4 adapters for the Glocks too. The high
Yeah.
cap.
Oh, I saw that. Thing's wild. It's massive. It makes it looks a lot more intimidating
In one
than
of the
it
most
should.
recent videos that we filmed, we got to use one of those, the T.A.P Airsoft uh, adapter with the M4 mag.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have the Glock. I think was it the Glock 19 that Todd had.
It was the Glock 18 that we used it with. He had one for
Yeah.
that, and then for the AAP.
AAP. Yep.
Assassin, yeah.
So you've had a YouTube channel. You have your website. You've got how many videos? Hundreds of videos. Hundreds.
500 plus,
And
to my knowledge.
I started back in 2008 with the videos. But you got to
Yeah.
remember too, if you look at these videos, they were done with like the smallest, little chintziest video camera that I had. Okay?
yeah, but dude, I love your you got the one where you're testing one of the grenades in your what looks like to be your driveway. You've got one where you built like didn't you attach two M4s together and then you made a minigun. I mean, all kind of stuff that a lot of guys don't ever get their hands on because I mean you were like custom building stuff and testing it out. Those are some really cool videos.
It's
Yeah.
funny because the gentleman that bought, I actually had a BFG. It had an M4 in it,
Yeah.
basically an M4 SPR in it, and it was the framework that looked like a BFG. I just sold it to him recently, but like everything, I need some more cash, so I've been selling stuff off. I had a Halo battle rifle.
Oh, yeah.
I had the
I've been wanting to get one of those.
rifle. Yeah,
Same.
yeah, it's like I bought all the unusual stuff because I like to have that kind of stuff. And it would be funny because I would take out, like, say, the Alien Pulse rifle out for this day, and then we'd go to another game, and I would bring the Sten, and then the next day we'd go out, I'd bring the Thompson, and the guy's like, "Don't you have an M4?" And I'm like, "No, I don't have an M4. I had a TAR which took M4 mags. Okay, I had an
Right.
FN 2000 took M4 mags. You know,
Nice.
I had a UAR that took M4 mags, but I didn't actually have an M4.
M4, yeah.
Which
good
is
for you,
really
because
unusual.
99% of people have M4s.
Yeah.
A friend of mine did give
Yep.
me. He had an old. It was a polymer body, and I actually cut it off, cut the stock off, cut the front off. I got a quick change gearbox, put it in there, a high torque motor, and I put an MP5 barrel, a 230 length barrel, and made an AR pistol.
Nice.
And I called it my rat gun because the only AR part was the partial upper and the lower. I didn't have a stock on it. I put like a QB sling on it, and then I put like this pipe I had on there with some foam in it, and like wire tied it fast, and I put a couple of zip ties on this, and I called it my rat gun, and like it was a lot of fun. That's the only like M4 that I actually had.
That's crazy.
All the guns, yeah.
We had I think that's all we got for a while was M4s when we first started out. Remember in our mystery boxes?
Oh yeah, especially from the
Yeah.
mystery boxes.
We
We got
had-
a lot of M4s.
A lot of M4s. Oh yeah.
How do you? This is a question that I always wanted to know, and this is a good, I guess, it's a good forum to ask this. How do you guys afford buying all that stuff and putting it up on the channel all the time? I'm like, do you have a sponsor to get that done? Because I know I spent an ungodly amount of money on guns over the years, but
Yeah.
that was a long accumulation. You guys are putting stuff up. I'm looking behind JP there, and he's got a
Yeah.
crap load of guns on his wall. Oh, and
I know, those are just the ones that I can fit on the wall. My closet's pretty full, too.
Well, when we do a video, we all buy our own box, and we're just lucky enough to have decent enough jobs to where we have some extra money to buy this stuff.
Yeah.
That's really how it is. All of it comes really out of our own pockets.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've
We're
never
trying to
we've
enjoy
never we've never had a sponsor. We when we started, we just we started the channel. We wanted to do like, hey, let's do some unboxings. I heard, I think JP was actually the one talking about it, saying he was the one that was talking to these guys about Evic doing the BOAs, and I was like, dude, that sounds cool. And we all started buying mystery boxes. So we were like, well, let's each get our own. So we all bought our own, and then we just kept doing that.
Yeah.
And we were accumulating so many guns because we each have our own boxes with 2 guns each, each time, and then that we were looking for places to put all these guns, and we tried. I mean, I know these guys tried like selling on Hop Up and trying to dump some off here and there, whatever. I tried Craigslist. To me, it's a pain in the ass. You got all these kids on there that it's like a yard sale. Like, hey, will you take $1 for it? Like, dude, just it's a waste of time. And I was
Yeah.
like, so the early on when we had originally gave away the 1 gun to Spencer, it was that was just spontaneous kind of a thank you to him for calling us out to giving us a shout out to Airsoftology, and then like a month later we're talking about where are we putting all these guns. I'm like, can I give some away? Would you guys, I asked Colt, Chris, do you guys mind if I give one of your guns away, like, and mine, like we just.
Yeah.
And I remember we had this conversation early on. We were like, well, we don't want to be known as the giveaway channel, but dude, it it kind of turned into that because it's just for us, it's an easy way and a fun way to do to keep some inventory control. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
For sure.
yeah, it's I feel like when you sell it on Hop Up or something like that, you don't really, unless you got special kind of unique guns like you have, uh, you're not really making a whole lot of money back from them
Yeah.
between shipping and the hassle, and I don't know. It just, to me. So but yeah, that's how we started. We've never had a sponsor on our channel.
Is there anybody in North Carolina, like an airsoft retailer that's close to you, you could deal with? You maybe make a saying
Black,
people.
Black Ops Airsoft, I think, is the only place that I know of.
Yeah, and they're more
not
paintball,
too-
right? And they're not real big, are they? Like as
they're
far
not,
as
like,
retail
super
store.
big. No.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Like there's nothing out here that we have. Some retail stores we go to, or these guys go to, Battle Cats.
There's actually only like really one retail store that's actually airsoft, and that's Battle
Really?
Cats. Yeah,
Battle
Battle
Cats,
Cats.
and they're not
Still
that
like
big.
45 minutes away.
No, they're not that. I mean, they're actually
Yeah.
they've had people travel to their field from across the country, but they're not
Yeah.
like
They're
They
not.
have
They're not
a-
modern airsoft
there.
or airsoft
Right.
GI, or they don't have the
They
volume
don't have
like
an
that.
online store or anything. It's just a small.
Right.
little
They don't
local
they're a
shop.
local. Yep. So we don't have something real big like that around here. And the other thing is we've never gone out looking. Uh, I didn't. I think in the beginning too, I never really wanted to be locked into. Uh, I wanted some freedom with my channel. You know what I mean? With our channel, we didn't want to be like, oh well, we have to say these good things about this whatever, even though they suck.
yeah.
So
yeah.
I never wanted to be put in that predicament. So I like being able to say, whatever we want on our channel and not worry about it. And so anyway, yeah, we've never had a sponsor. We just like Chris said, we each we plan ahead. We'll see something. We're like, okay, well, this is coming up. Hey, who wants to get a box? And if we all get one, we all get one.
Right.
But there was a few times where I couldn't afford one at the time, or JP. We all did. Like and then maybe one of us got one. So
Right,
we had to rotate.
One of the giveaways you did, I won a CO2 pistol off you guys.
I think
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
that. Early.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
I
that.
gave it to this one guy that didn't have a pistol.
Oh, was
I
that
had a pistol.
was that the Baby Desert Eagle?
Yeah.
Yep.
CO2.
remember that.
There you go.
He
Nice.
didn't have a pistol. And
Yeah.
I'm like, here, this is what you need. Here, you can have this pistol.
Hey,
He
listen.
said, he was like thrilled to get it.
Yeah.
And he used it for quite a while.
It's a good feeling.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yep.
The last giveaway, I looked at the address when I had to ship this out. Is this guy part of your team? The Scatsman or whatever?
No.
one- Oh, okay. Because his address is in Northeast Pennsylvania as well.
It's funny. There's like I think there's like 2 what I would call teams that I know of that have more than like 10 people on them
Okay.
in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area. That's like northeastern Pennsylvania. But as soon as you get out like a little center of the state or south, then there's a crap load of teams because they've got a lot of indoor arenas and stuff down there near Philly and out near State College and stuff. But like up here in this area, there's not that many fields. There's a couple of paintball places, but
Yeah.
only like I think there's 3 that do airsoft now. That's a good thing that they're doing airsoft.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah.
It's only more money for them, might as well.
Yeah, it seems like more and more of the paintball places are starting to accept airsoft as far as like letting people play on their fields and hosting events for airsoft.
Yeah.
They
Even
do
if
it
they
right.
don't offer like even if they don't offer like the guns and all that, they
The
still host
rentals,
events.
it's all
right.
bring your own stuff. Yep.
Yep.
We got hooked up with a field that's about an hour south of us. Airsoft once in a while, but he started doing games. His EMR. They had Bad Blood there, Downfall, a couple of big Nightfall coming up, a couple of big games. He's just starting to do rentals. He never did rentals before. He's going to start to do rentals now, but he has this he's very open to like constructive criticism. If you have an idea, if you have something going on, that you say, hey, can we do this game? Can we try this? Can we do this? And the refs are very, with us for trying this. So I said, instead of spawning here, let's spawn down by the creek. And I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll go down there and we'll spawn from there.
Yeah.
I like that when a paintball owner and the refs that are there will listen to what you're saying to try to make a game better.
Right.
And it's,
Right.
it's close. I figure a field that's an hour away, that's a close field for me.
Oh, it is.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been to paintball fields that are run by paintball people that don't quite understand the difference between airsoft.
Yeah.
Where you're shooting 75 to maybe 80 feet with a paintball gun at people, fast action, and they set us up where I can see somebody 100 feet down across the field, and I'm like, "That's too close, buddy. I can kill everybody that's there. Don't set us up that."
Right.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Any paintball field that's going to do airsoft, I try to promote them and help them out because more fields is better. How many paintball places are around by you?
We got a decent amount. We got
what do you got?
Paintball Central. That I know we have fairly close to us. Red Fox is mainly a paintball place.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 2. But I mean, other than that, I don't know
Airsoft
of any, but I'm sure
Columbia.
there's more. I just don't know.
Have you ever approached them and said, "Hey, would you guys like to do airsoft?" They don't have to. They're not paying any more or less liability for airsoft. Okay.
Well, both of those 2 places do airsoft.
Yeah.
That I named. There could be more that may not do airsoft, but those 2 places they do airsoft currently, in addition to paintball.
Actually, whenever I find somebody like a paintball place, like I was always testing them to see if I have a little email I would send them, and there's a place that just opened up in the Poconos by us last year, and right before COVID, and they started doing airsoft, and he had never done airsoft before. It was a learning experience for this individual. It's a nice field, but they're in that paintball mindset where they have a field that's 100 feet long, and they're saying, "Okay, that's your airsoft field." And I'm like, "That's kind of small, it's too close," and like shoot at each other. So it's a learning experience, and I like that paintball owners are taking the initiative to try some airsoft stuff. And if they take the players' advice on how things should work a little bit better, that's good. Getting the right refs is also the best. If you have a paintball ref trying to ref an airsoft game, he's not going to quite understand what the whole situation's about.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, who got hit? Where's the mark? What happened?
Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's, we've had you on here for a while, and it's been awesome hearing some of your stories. What's one of your biggest events over the years, airsoft events that you've been to? Or most exciting, maybe?
Most exciting? This was back 2012. It was a game on a field that's now closed. It was one of the first games that I took out the 30 caliber. And my whole job was to had what they called a power station. You actually brought a laptop in it. You had to control this like bunker area for like 15 minutes and then hook lines that were 50, like white rope, 50 feet long. You had to tie them on trees and connect them to different things to power them. So you had to control the power station. So my whole job, when they got me there, they put me in this hole. Nobody else is with me with my 30 caliber. Okay. And people are running to try to take this off me. And I hear there's only one guy. Until I put the 30 caliber up on top of the sandbags and started firing. I never seen so many people hit the ground. I didn't hit anyone, but I mean, everybody dropped. There's like 15 guys just dropped like a stone. And I'm like amazed because I knew I wasn't hitting them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just laid down fire, and all I saw was this big 30 caliber come over the sandbag and me start shooting at him.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, at the time, I was running 2.0s in this. And to add a little finesse to it, I had some red, green, blue, yellow, and white on 2s. So this drum mag that's on there held 1,500 rounds.
Yeah.
So I would fill it up about 3/4 of the way with 2.0s, but then I'd throw these 1.2s in, these various colors.
Oh my
I'd
gosh.
shake it all up so it mix up. And I remember the guy on the other team that came up to me after the game was over, and he said, when you started shooting, he said, all I could think, I'm getting shot by a fucking rainbow.
By a rainbow.
He said, I saw red, I saw green, I saw blue. He said white. I said, all I saw was he was in the sun. And I guess all the light came through. And he said, yeah, I got shot by a fucking rainbow.
Must have been Pride Month.
That's pretty funny.
That's pretty cool, man.
That is cool.
That's awesome.
Well, listen, man, we'll definitely have to have you on again and do we'll call it the gun show. That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
If I can get it to share the screen right, I can show you.
Yeah, I know.
That's all right. Well, we're still
problem.
learning on this thing too. So I'm actually just hoping right now that this recording comes out good. We had early on Christian's camera was doing the Matrix or something, and
Crapping out over there.
I'm pretty sure I fixed it, but that was.
When I look at your camera, like Chris's is real clear, JP's is clear, yours is clear. Mine looks washed out. I don't know how mine looks.
It looks hazy.
Yeah.
The screen or the lens could be dirty.
And it's not like I clean a damn thing.
Lighting too. Has a lot.
You ain't got time for that. Oh yeah. Well, listen, man, it's been great. It's been a pleasure having you on here. If you guys watching this video, if you have not gone to NePa Airsoft and sub to his channel, go do that now, and tell him you saw this video, and give a comment on some of his videos. But definitely go through some of his videos. He has got a ton of really good content. It's like I said in the podcast here, he's got stuff where he does tech stuff, he builds stuff, tinkering, and all kind of things that very unique. You heard him earlier. He has no M4s, which and he's got a lot of guns. So that means he's got a lot of unique guns. It's really cool. I feel like we're friends, and I appreciate you being on here, man. It's been a pleasure. And of course, Johnny and Chris, thanks for being on here as well.
Of course, sir.
Yeah.
I like that. This is nice.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Awesome.
We'll
We have a great time doing it.
We appreciate
All
you
right,
being
thanks, Keeper. That'll
All
work
right,
out
guys,
good.
have a good night.
on. All right, have a great night.
All right.
See you later.
See you, brother. I know y'all are itching to go play Tarkov, so I'm gonna. I can see your fingers.
know?
These fingers start twitching. Like, oh shit. But anyway, so thanks for being on here, guys. It's fun.
All right, thanks, man.